Okay, basic abdominal routine for certain diploma level. It's already on YouTube, but I'm going to break it down again for everybody. The key techniques for this are Jungfa, which is vibrating hand or vibrating fingers, and Ija Chan. Ija Chan means to single finger meditation technique. Important to have your thumbnails cut for this. We concentrate on sort of 4 major zones: Ren 12, 6 and 4, and stomach 25. Ren 8 in the middle being the belly button is your reference point to begin with. So you try to locate. What I tend to do is go up and down the body with 3 fingers, and I just will get a rough idea until, if it's an innie or an outie, I have an idea then where the belly button is. I'll then reference the end of the xiphoid, which is the sternum, and then halfway, so I'll measure approximately halfway, and that gives me Ren 12. Ren 12 is Zhongwan. Zhongwan is central place. It's the front alarm point or mood point for the stomach. It's extremely grounding. All the points we're going to use have a yang nature, life-giving, life-nourishing. This abdomen is fantastic if you're running a fertility clinic, if you are trying to treat female gynecological issues, and or IBS, IBD. The contraindication for this routine is ulcerative colitis and bleeding stomach ulcers. You need to be very careful. And so for that, in your post-grad training, we do An Mo Fu Zhang. We've already done a little bit of it, but we do An Mo Fu Zhang, and that treats specifically internal organs, and concentrating on those. But this one is a good general routine. It helps strengthen your acupuncture treatments if you're doing an abdominal. It also helps herbs get to the organ and infuse into the organ because you're bringing blood flow to this area. The next important point is stomach 25 is the front alarm point or mood point for the large intestine. Large intestine covers reabsorption of water and elimination of toxic cells and food. Ren 4 and Ren 6. Ren 6 is Qi high. It's related to the Qi flow of the kidneys, Yang Qi flow strengthening. Ren 4 does the same, but as a more specific rebalancing of the uterus or the prostate in men. So these points are very easy to find, very easy to access, and you need to be using them in the clinic. I also run courses on the Jade Dragon system, and we concentrate very much on these points because they are so life-nourishing points, okay? Life-nourishing points. Why? When you're in the womb, you're receiving life through your belly, from your mother. So it goes from her to you through your belly. So it makes sense that this system is so important to a human being, okay? So there are styles of abdominal acupuncture as well that just treat the abdomen. So from here, I start with Ija Chan on Ren 12. I can perform the manipulation different ways. The action of the manipulation is a rocking motion with the thumb. It's very gentle, you're not pushing hard, but the vibration is what brings the chi to that point. How long do I go for? Anything up to 2 minutes, but generally what I notice is after a few seconds, 20-30 seconds, the structure underneath my thumb changes and it starts to feel like a little well or like a little puddle underneath, and then I know chi is coming to the area. In some Tuina methods, you'll see some of the videos I've uploaded with Dr. Li Hang. He'll go around the whole belly doing this. But I tend to just focus on the points. This is kind of an adaptation. I'll come round to stomach 25. It doesn't matter if you go left or right, but I'm always using her belly button as a reference point. Stomach 25, find the belly button, measure 3 finger widths out from the lateral edge, and you point the thumb 45 degrees towards the spine, and you repeat Ija Chan. So the action is like this. The speed is approximately 140 movements per minute, so a little bit faster than what you would do Gunfa, but you can go right up to 200 a minute if you're very quick. How do you measure that? It's just kind of you can measure your speed with a metronome at home. You can take a 10-second window and see how many manipulations you do in 10 seconds, and then multiply by 6 to get an approximation. The speed of the manipulation dictates how the chi is activated, not only at a meridian level, but an organ cellular level. There is no secret to Tuina other than your technique. Good technique will carry the chi. You don't have to be a qigong practitioner, but it helps. It helps to work on yourself internally, especially when it comes to this kind of work. And I'll go to the other side and repeat. I can also walk around, and a good idea to practice with your other finger as well. It will feel different. Important to rock. Take your time. If you want to get deeper, you can flick in with the thumb. So it's a rock with a flick, and that gives a more penetrating effect. So it's entirely up to you how you want to work. Start slowly when you're learning the technique. Not too much deep penetration, and then just practice rocking. And then what you want to do is kind of speed that up. Important to keep the wrist relaxed in this motion. Yeah. Then from here going back, checking for the belly button again. So you move the root around, the structure relaxes. Okay. Once I've found the belly button, I may need to readjust to go back. You can do this on bare skin too, but just be aware you can aggravate the belly button a little bit, especially if they're pierced. Okay, that piercing needs to be replaced with a plastic one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's receiving permanent acupuncture to Ren 8, which is too much. Here, Ren 4, just below, sorry, Ren 6, which is located approximately 2 finger widths down from the belly button.
I cannot see anything, it's the sun.
Come around the other side. See the marking, very gentle.
If you wanna go, because it's the sun behind you and I can see, just come towards, no, the other side. Yeah, like that.
Nice little pop from tummy. And then Ren 4 is another 2 finger widths down, being careful, not too hard, especially if they need the loo. Or, so a routine you need to be very careful if they're on the cycle as well, like if they're actually bleeding, menstruation. You can use it, it's been used to help alleviate it. Generally, the doctors in China don't like you doing it, but I found it to be super beneficial for very painful periods. But you need to go kind of really, really gentle. If the period is very strong and very heavy, I tend to treat through the sacrum and the back, because it's yang and it harmonizes then the yin front function, and you tend to get a much better pain relief for a bad period. Very common in my clinic because of the level of fertility I'm doing to treat women all the way through their cycle. And so they come in at different levels. Like they'll ring me and say, I'm not sure if I should come in today. I'm on my period, and I'll say, come in anyway, because I want to know what's going on. It's important. It's a diagnostic tool. Is the blood bright red? Is it dark red? Is it stagnant? Are there clotting? What's the leukorrhea, the vaginal discharge? Is it heavy mid-cycle? Do you notice, is it silky? Do you know when you're ovulating? Is it yellow and damp and phlegmy? Is it cold and thick and white, phlegmy? All these things give an indication on the state quality of the health of the female. In fact, I think Chinese TCM or Chinese gynecology is probably one of the oldest medicines. So after we have done all those points, then I use 2 fingers, and the 2 fingers will go into the belly button. I'll stand in Wu Ji, even posture, relax the pelvis, relax the shoulders, breathe naturally through the nose, and I begin vibration into the Ren 8. Regular treatments for the female with Qigong or Tuina, acupuncture, herbs, whatever, develops a much stronger child, more resilient. And it starts with the mother first. You feel that back soon? A little bit?
Yeah, vibrating.
And from there, I can do heat. So, could this work for irritable bowel syndrome? It could if you were gentle. Could it work for food stagnation? Yes, it can. Can it help for constipation? Of course, you're treating the frontal arm point of the large intestine. And here, just working around the abdomen. So I'm kind of going in a circle and relaxing. Any heat?
Yeah.
My belly's talking to her belly,
Hi.
saying you need food. Very common when you're working on someone's stomach. There's this hidden communication that occurs because they say the neurology of the gut is, the surface neurology of the gut is similar to the surface neurology of the brain. So I definitely believe there is hidden communications with us that we don't necessarily perceive. It's like sometimes you can tell your loved one, your partner, your child is just not quite right, even though they haven't said anything, because their body language is speaking to you first. But I think there's also a hidden communication layer, not with everyone, but it's people that you resonate with, that you like to be with, that you work with, that you like. And then the people who upset us, they kind of upset us without having to say anything, you know, because there's already that level of communication. So good abdomen health is important. And then from here we're going to do the rice bowl technique just to harmonize the abdomen. So you can do this different ways. I find from an ergonomic point of view it's better if I'm in this position. And I create a gentle sort of rocking where I roll my hands. I call it rice bowl because it's like holding a rice bowl upside down, or a cornflakes bowl, or whatever, your cereal bowl. And you create this, and I'm always going in the direction of peristalsis. So I'm coming up, by rolling I'm coming up the right side, across the abdomen here, and down the left side. Another good way, gently stimulating peristalsis if there's any food stagnation. And then from there, harmonize just by spreading out the tummy, come in underneath her ribs here, and cross over. And then I'll step over this way, push out. This is to stop chi stagnation. Often when you do qigong or more chi related work, so we call it yin tuina, when we're quiet, still, concentrating with our mind to move energy. It's good to clear any stagnation after the treatment. If you're doing more of a yang style, you know, you're doing a lot of the time you're doing a yang style, which is massage, manipulation, mobilization, stretching, adjustments. Usually at the end of that, then you would do tapping or cupping, and that removes stagnation. But because this area is very, very much neglected. But if we've been moving chi with jungfa, it's good just to have an intention of just harmonizing the belt vessel. So here, what I do is I use the flat of my hands, use mofa just to wipe. I'm having this intention of cleaning and clearing anything that's gathered, because underneath the rib cage you can have a lot of chi stagnation in the liver points. So just this idea of moving that, getting underneath the kidneys, wiping. Lifting and wiping. So to get real power with your tuina, good technique to begin with, good physical structure and technique, and then good mind power. So holding good intention. People with a cartoon mind tend to do well in tuina. People who are very kinesthetic, who like the feel and touch of things, tend to do well. Okay, and that's takes you 15-20 minutes, less than. You can do it at the end of a treatment, or you can do it to prep them. And there are variations on this, and we can go much deeper. There are a system where we use oils and creams on the stomach, and we go in using qigong to treat the organs. That's more advanced. So have a play with that. That will help you. Definitely good for calming the best. I just feel like done. Yeah. That's it.